Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everyone to the Ladies Lounge. I am your hostess, MCA Aldridge, aka Pastor Michelle Aldridge. It is wonderful to have you here at the Ladies Lounge. Let me tell you something. We at the Ladies Lounge, we are here to learn, to love, and to laugh. I am so grateful to God for giving us grace and mercy. And through this pandemic, let me tell you, God is a keeper. He has kept us all these weeks and months, over a year. And you know, the Ladies Lounge was birthed during the pandemic. And we're just so glad that everyone has continued to support us. We thank all of you for sharing and liking the page and making comments. And we just bless God for you today. And I have one of my favorite authors back here on the Ladies Lounge, Mrs. Tania Hernandez. Okay. She wrote a children's book also. And this children's book has been a hit among the Sanctuary of Praise and Worship Center members. And I am here to let you know she's going to talk about the book. I'm not going to even mention it because you guys know the book already. She is going to talk about the book and it's going to enlighten you. And I want all of you there here watching to purchase the book if you can. If you don't need it for yourself, buy it for your niece, your nephew, your grandchildren, whoever, or even your own children, because she is an educator. She teaches, and let me tell you, I have one of the kids from our church. He wasn't even 2 years old, and we got it for him. And let me tell you something. He loved that book so much. Every day he wanted them to read it to him. Okay, so she's here reading magic. I'm telling you, she's going to give you all the information about it so you can, let me tell you, she will give you the statistics on what the challenges are now concerning children and learning and reading and all these different things because she's an educator, okay? I'm a pastor, but she's an educator, okay? I bless God for you. Let's welcome Mrs. Tania Hernandez as she talks about reading magic.
Thank you, my dear high school friend, Michelle, Pastor Michelle, HCHS Royal Blue, right? Yeah, man, and I want to big up right now, Sister Maxine, our principal of Holy Childhood High School. Sister Maxine, I would love to come to Holy Childhood to do a reading of my third book, One Pot, and to speak about literacy as well. Okay, so looking forward to it. Give me an invite and I'll go come. Yeah, man. All right. So thank you again, Michelle, and viewers for watching. I have been an educator for over 20 odd years. I have 4 children. And when one of my children, I noticed that he was slow in reading, I decided to go and get trained in how to teach him how to read. And now he is a master reader, an adult doing well. All 4 of my kids are reading well. And it's partly because of the strategy that I used to teach. So I'm very happy about that. But what I noticed while I was doing my research and working in the schools was that many kids were not able to read. They're very talented, a lot of them. Yes, some of them had developmental disabilities, what we like to call exceptionalities, because every child has an ability. So we want to really introduce the positive. So we call it an exceptionality. That's how they learn, and we have to find their way. So we noticed kids had learning exceptionalities, and also they had developmental exceptionalities. Kids on the autism spectrum, kids with attention deficit, hyperactive disorders, learning challenges, and there was one called dyslexia. And so I went and looked it up. So I first studied special ed, but then all the different Again, strategies that were used to teach many of the children weren't working. They still weren't able to read despite these kids being extremely talented. I did further research and I found out about dyslexia. Dyslexia is dysfunction in reading, writing, and spelling. And that's because the way how their brain is wired, kids with dyslexia, they are not able to figure out the letter sound combination of the alphabet. And I have found out, and it is scientifically proven, that reading is sound based. It is not visual based. You just don't look at it and then you know it. This guessing and whole learning concept only helps some, but for many children, it does not. They need the fundamental concepts to be taught. They need structured learning to teach the phonemes, each letter sound. And then you build those phonemes together and you put them in words and you can decode the sound so you could read the words fluently. Then you read the words within sentences. Because if you keep decoding words, you're not able to read a whole sentence and then develop comprehension skills. So I have found out sound-based decoding is a major determinant in reading skills, in early reading skills from early kindergarten level. You don't start from grade 1 or you reach till grade 3 when you see you're already struggling. In grade 3, you are going to be writing and learning a whole lot of language and writing language that is very mature and complex. So you need to have those foundational skills from as far back as early kindergarten. And I found out from early kindergarten, the scientists have proven that if you give them remediation from then, early kindergarten, and you give them remediation in multisensory foundational concepts of structured learning, start from the little alphabet, right? And just don't say A says apple, apple. Let them see visuals. Get little cards with letters on it. And then you put, oh, like you want to spell lap. You have the 3 cards, oh, lap. And you have them do the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile strategy. Use your eyes, your ears, your movement, and you're moving the cards. Oh, lap. And then you switch it and put lop. You do silly sounds, real words, and you switch it with them and you make it into a game. Start from very early. That's one thing I can tell you will help them. So I just want to read to you just some statistics, both here in Ontario, Canada, and in the US. So 1 in 5 children in Ontario's classrooms struggle to learn to read because of dyslexia. As I've said, dyslexia is a dysfunction in reading, writing, and spelling. Dyslexia is a brain-based difference that makes learning to read, write, and spell very difficult despite average to above average intelligence. It is identifiable with 92% accuracy at the age of 5. Yes. Children with dyslexia can learn to read with appropriate instruction. Okay. Teachers in Ontario do not receive effective instruction on how to teach reading to children with dyslexia. Children often wait until grade 3 or later to be identified and to receive life-changing remediation. Illiteracy, school failure, mental health issues, including anxiety and depression, incarceration, and unemployment are the outcome for those who do not receive help. And this is from Decoding Dyslexia Ontario. I'm a member of the International Dyslexia Association of Ontario. And we are championing the cause to ensure schools begin to teach our children. It is their right. Every child should learn and be literate. And so our Ontario Human Rights Tribunal is now championing that cause of getting all schools to teach all children using the structured language approach, drill for skill. Teach those building blocks. You don't build a house without first getting all the materials, right? You need your cement, your metal, everything for firm foundation. Our kids need that too. And so I make no apologies in saying we need to do better than that. For the US, the National Assessment of Educational Progress says 32% of fourth graders and 20% of eighth graders aren't reading at a basic level. Fewer than 40% are proficient or advanced. Okay, and so we know there is a crisis, and that's why my second book that I wrote this book, Alphabets, Vowels, Syllables. So alphabet, vowels, consonants, syllables, reading magic. I made sure to highlight that we need our alphabets first. We need to know alphabets are made up of vowels and consonants. And then when you're reading, I teach my kids to break the words into syllables, right? So they can read. But even before they can read the syllables, when they know their alphabet and vowels, they have to know the sounds. No guessing game, because too many of the kids that come to me, I teach one-on-one kids who have severe learning differences. I have to teach them how to do sound-based decoding, right? And so you have to teach L says O, not L, right? It's O, right? Or we would say a lap. It's lap, right? So, and you teach, so my book, what it does, it goes through the, starting from the very beginning, and I said, dedicated to every boy and girl, that the joy of reading will take you on adventures and allow you to fulfill your dreams. And what I did, I started off talking about, there are 26 letters. Kids need to know that our very complex English language starts off with 26 letters. And so I made it into a very exciting story. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. Wow. These letters make a gazillion words. A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y are vowels. Why is Y sometimes a vowel? Because sometimes it sounds like an I in my, sky, and try. And so I made it into a colorful book, right? Because kids, they need to have a lot of color, not just black and white, but they need a color at the very beginning. And so I showed the letters of the alphabet as characters. So you'd see all of them. Each of them has their own character. And I made sure to emphasize what were vowels and what were consonants. And so in life, we have memory strategies to remember a lot of things. I remember back in primary school, high school, I had to learn these little strategies, right? And I think Michelle will remember when we used to do our drills, 2 1s 2, 2 2s 4, 2 3 6. That's kind of a mnemonic. It's very rhythmic and you learn. They don't do that nowadays in schools. We need that back. So what I did, because of my musical background, many of you might know I'm a recording producer. I write. I love music. I incorporate music into when I'm educating and when I'm teaching children. And also what I do, I find out what are their strengths. Because we think we're going in to teach children and we're teaching at them, we're teaching with them. It's cooperative teaching. So I usually find what are their interests, what are their strengths, and I incorporate it into my teaching. So when I'm building their curriculum for them, I make sure there are things in there that they will enjoy, even their favorite color, their favorite books, right? Favorite topics, things like that. So I taught the 5, because of course we have A-E-I-O-U, our vowels. How are you going to let that stick other than saying A-E-I-O-U, our vowels? I came up with a song, and I have 2 different songs, but the one I put in the book was to the tune of Frere Jacques. Remember Frere Jacques, Frere. So I did a song with that, and then of course you can have actions. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. 5 are vowels. 20. Was that the Frere Jacques have 2? Frere Jacques, yeah, I did it. There are 26 letters in the alphabet. 5 are vowels. 21 are consonants. A-E-I-O-U are vowels. A-E-I-O-U are vowels. All the rest are consonants. All the rest are consonants. A-E-I-O-U are vowels. A-E-I-O-U are vowels. All the rest are consonants. All the rest are consonants. And of course, I have another tune to it, but this one is a nice little catchy one for them to use. And of course, after you teach them the vowels, okay, they are going to have to learn that vowels have 2 different sounds, because vowels can either be short sound or long sounds. Short sound vowels are always protected by a consonant. So I have these little characters, and I have vowels can either be short or long. They can have a short vowel sound, and then you have this diacritical mark called a breve. It's a smiley face. And I put it above the vowel A to let them know A says ah. Smiley face, A says ah. For apple. And why does A say ah for apple? Because the P protects the A and makes it say ah. If you never had the P and A stands alone, it would be very lonely, and it would say its name A. And that's why A says A when it's long, and ah when it's protected by a vowel. So, of course, I have these symbols. I says A in apple. A says ah in apple. The letter P protects me, and I say ah. I did it for E. E says eh. For elephant, the L in E makes me say eh. And I did the same for I says it for insect. O says op for octopus. And U says for umbrella or up. Now, it wasn't in my book, but I'm going to share this. This is something all of you can do with your kids right now. If you want to teach the kids short sound vowels, A, here's an elastic band. You just get an elastic band. A says ah for apple, as if you're biting into a nice juicy apple. Ah, because many times kids with dyslexia cannot hear the sounds. So if you give them a visual and you give them the movement, right? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic, tactile. The kinesthetic is the movement. The tactile is the touch. So we're doing all of that. A says ah for apple. Feel the pull in every part of your mouth. Ah. E says eh for elephant. You feel a stretch, eh, in the lips, and you're smiling. Eh. Teeth are apart. Eh. They need to see that. That's one of the sounds that they always get wrong. E, I, and U. The A and the O, they normally have it, but the E, I, and the U, I have to teach it using this. So E says eh for elephant. Feel the stretch here, just here, eh. For elephant, I says E. Your nose is puckered up and you feel it in your nose. E. The teeth are together. E. I says E for icky insect. O says O for octopus. See, it's the elastic band is just like a O. Then I drop my elastic band and I said, if you had a pain in your tummy or you had a pain in your chest, you know, we like have gas. When we say we have gas all over, we go, U says, just that. You don't open up your mouth a lot. You just go, It is very hard sometimes to distinguish between and But if you use a mirror, let your child use a mirror to see when you say your mouth is open. When you say it's hardly open, right? For up, umbrella, right? And so I use that and it usually helps them. As they say, I said, what does you say? Use your action. Using the action, your brain has all these multisensory pathways. So if you do the visual, the auditory, the kinesthetic, the tactile, you're doing everything all at once, the pathways will come together and you will begin to learn. So if you notice, it's a whole lot of sound-based decoding. It's a lot of multisensory strategies. And then what you start doing, you see those cards? I just came back from the dollar store. I use tons of cue cards. And you can make letters of the alphabet and put, as I said, you want to get the word can or man, M-A-N, and you put first, the first sound says A says N says What do you get? Man. Then make it into a game. You put the cards out, 3 cards, start with man, and then above it, you have start with just vowels. You have the E, I, O, U, and then say, what if I wanted to change man to men? You use a within stimulus prompt, and you go from man to N. You stress the E. Then that child will look at the vowels above and say, E says E, and move away the A and make it into an E. Make it into a positive reinforcement game. Every time they get something right, you either give them, you give them little check marks, and every check mark they get, then you will decide what you're going to give them at the end of the day, right? They might love their favorite fish crackers, or you take them out to the dollar store to get their favorite treat. But start your little children with these cards, these visual drill cards. I many times have pictures at the back, just like how when I did, like E says F for elephant. You can also do a drill. So you can show them the vowel cards and say these sounds. Then when you show them E, if they had a problem, you would switch the card around and say, what's that picture? Elephant. Say, what's the beginning sound of elephant? Eh. What does E say? Eh. Until they get it seamlessly, automatically, because the stress is on automaticity. You don't want them struggling like they have to know it's because when you're reading and you have to read, the man jumped into the pot. Funny sentence. You don't want them going first of all, you're going to lose the comprehension. You want them to be able to read it nice and smooth. So those are corrective feedback. When they read the man jumped into the pot, say read it nice and smoothly and have them put their hand across it. Use your hand. The man jumped into the pot. So after they decode, they read nice and smooth. That will develop their comprehension skills, sound-based decoding skills, reading fluency skills, reading stamina skills, and comprehension skills. And yes, that's how you begin reading. So the rest of the book is, I also explained about the long sound vowel. It says its name. And for instance, I gave the silent E. When you have the word like mate, the E makes the A, says A in mate. If not, M-A-T says mat, right? So that is it. Cap, I wear a cap. But what happens if I put silent E? E says, A, say your name, cape. Make it into a game. Start from early. And so I also showed all the different syllables because we have 6 syllables that they need to learn. They need to learn the short sound, the long sound like hi, me. I stand alone. I say my name. I need to know silent E. E makes the A in cape. Say its name. You need R control syllable for harp, right? R makes the A say R. E-R-I-R says also you are. And then you show them words and use games and activities to develop all the vocabulary for R control. You have consonant LE like uncle, whistle. So consonant LE is like this. C-L-E, uncle, consonant. So it would be C-L-E. If it's whistle, it's S-T-L-E in whistle, not whistle. So if they learn all the consonant LE, it's about 10 of them. You teach them, all of them, right? And of course, let me see, R control, silent E. You have, I gave you the long sound, the short sound. Oh, you also have vowel team, like meat. I eat meat, E and A. Now you teach them, one does the walking, the other does the talk. One does the talking, the other does the walking. E in meat does the talking. A, it walks, but EA is a vowel team. So once they learn the rules of language, then they'll be able to build a word just like you build your house, right? And we all know if we build our house on the sand, it will fall down. If we build it with sand, that's not a good house. We build it with a nice cement and metal and everything for a firm foundation, it will be a good house. So to have good education for children, use this solid fundamental teaching. Do not throw it out. Yes, add your new stuff, right? For those who are brilliant and can just see a word and just figure out that A says add, that's all good for them. But that's not how God made everyone. You cannot let 20 to 30% of kids fall through the cracks and not do well. We have to teach our kids to be their best selves. And so I felt it was my duty to pass on my knowledge in this book. Alphabets, vowels, consonants, syllables, reading magic. And at the end of the book too, I have put that with language literacy, it's just not all about just sounding out words. I did a language literacy web for you, and you need to have, yes, phonological awareness, letter sound, knowledge. You need to have phonics, how words are all formed, how they all come together, right? Syllabication, all of that. Morphological awareness. Let your kids know when you say you are going to re-sit an exam, it means you sit it again. That little part of word is going to be in hundreds of words in the English language. Untie your shoe. You know what that means. Do not. It means do not. No. Teach those parts. Reading comprehension is very important. So don't make your children trick you when them just looking through the book, because you read the book all the time to them. What they do, they have just memorized. Make sure that they're touching the words and they're able to read, or touch one word and see if they know it. That's a trick that I use with the kids, and then you see if they're reading. Then ask them WH questions: who, what, why, where, when, and how. And develop those critical thinking skills. Start from very early. Just don't leave them with a book and say, go read. It don't work like that, right? Then you have word structure, word meaning, what each word mean. Like meat, M-E-A-T versus M-E-E-T. They're homophones, words that sound alike but have a different meaning, right? And tip and tip. It sound alike, it spell the same. It's different when you give a tip to somebody, a waitress, or the tip of the pencil. All those things. Writing fluency, vocabulary. Teach them, go online and look up Dolch list. the Dolch list of words, starting from pre-K, kindergarten, all the way up. I do that with all my students and have them read it. And the words that sound alike, I ask them to tell me the meaning after I've taught it, because I do explicit teaching. Spelling is important. So all those things I mentioned are important. And last, I gave strategies. And I also gave you online tools and other workbooks that you could use to make your child be the best that they can be, all from Tania Hernandez. I hope you have learned a lot and you are inspired. Be the best that you can be. Thanks.
Awesome. Okay, now, as an educator and from your experience, I want you to tell the people, what is the earliest time? A lady just had a baby. When is it that, say the baby was just born on June 20th?
From before the baby is born. From before the baby is born, talk to that baby. Play lovely music. Music, you will find, helps children to learn. Start the music going, talk to them. And make sure that as you just speak normally to them. You don't have to do baby talk all the time. You just speak to them. And whenever you are giving them an apple, right? Apple, it says ah for apple, things like that. But from them in the womb. But to do like specific early teaching, when you are playing games and with them, you can start pre-kindergarten early, 3, 4, even 2, because there are many apps on, because you know the kid them on the iPad, them know if you use it better than you and me. Put them on the app. I have one called ABC. There's one that I use all the time, ABC Sound Reading Magic. It's on there, and it goes from pre-kindergarten all the way to the higher grades. All right, ABC Reading Magic, Sound Beginnings. It starts from there. It starts from their pre. You don't, as soon as you see that they're ready, they're making their sounds, and they're trying to speak to you, and yeah, you start from then. But do not start just when they're going to kindergarten, because the science says by the time you're in grade 1, you should have had all the fundamental concepts of sounds. Many of the sounds, at least the letters of the alphabet, very secure in your brain. You should have known that. Not when you go into grade 1, that's when, no, it's from pre-kindergarten, you're learning those sounds. So start from now. Hopefully you would have gotten a lot of strategies from me. And there are many more in this book. You can get it again from my publishers, www.essencebookstore.com. Or if you would like a copy from me and you would like to get it autographed or just sent as a gift, you can write Tania Hernandez 695 at yahoo.ca. You can even write me on my Facebook, Tania Hernandez. You'll see me in the Jamaican National Wear. And you can pay by PayPal or e-transfer at Tania Hernandez 695 at yahoo.ca. Password 1POT. Or yes, use just, well, actually, because this is my Reading Magic book, just the password for this one is Reading Magic. I have 3 books. So you would use Reading Magic, all in lowercase together, okay? And this book here, at the time when I did this book, it was $20 Canadian. I am willing to sell this book at $15 Canadian plus $3 shipping and handling in Canada, $4 in US, $6 internationally. Okay, so you can just write me or go to www.essencebookstore.com, or you can write to me and I would be glad to send this book to you. You can send me all your details. I hope you've learned a lot. And remember, reading is not only educational, it is fun, and it most of all gives you the independence to do anything you want to do. Okay? And may you be your best self, but you have to learn to read. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much, Miss Tania Lou. Tania Hernandez, Reading Magic. We got ours from Amazon. Okay, we got
Yes,
ours from
yes,
Amazon.
you can get it there, and Kobe at Kindle everywhere. This book
Yes.
is already out everywhere.
Okay, because it's one of your older books. So
Yes.
we give the shout out also again to Sister Maxine. She's doing an
Oh,
awesome
no.
job. All of you alumni watching, please contribute to the Holy Childhood High School Alumni Association.
Yes.
I went there a few weeks ago. I was in Jamaica, and let me tell you, she does put that alumni money to use. She has made many improvements to the school. Let me tell you, when I went there, it wasn't half as beautiful as it is now. She has planted beautiful plants. It's just lovely. And just contribute, those of you that are watching Holy Child High School. This is going to be on the page. Contribute to the Alumni Association. It goes to a good cause, and it helps those girls in the school that don't have. And I bless God for Sister Maxine, and bless God for all of you that have watched the Ladies Lounge. Please buy this book. It's never too early to teach your child to read. It's never too early to teach your child, your baby. As she said, in the womb, you start talking. Amen. Yes. Let's have her close.
So, Michelle, I just want you to know, you see, I am giving the last book that I wrote, One Pot, part proceeds are going to go towards Holy Childhood High School. Yes, I already sent some funds just a few weeks ago through the Holy Childhood Alumni Funds. But in a few months after I collect my monies from my book, One Pot, I will be sending part proceeds to Holy Childhood.
Yes. So we bless God for all of you for watching the Ladies Lounge. Here, let me tell you, it's not just all about Holy Childhood. It's about you brothers. It's about you sisters. It's about you Americans, Jamaicans, Africans, West Indians, Canadians, British, everybody. The Ladies Lounge. Thank you for joining us here. Please come and join us in the next episode of the Ladies Lounge. We came and we learned. We did love and we laughed. God bless you. See you again soon.